Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar Stuff and welcome to another Joe Perry Project guitar lesson. Now this one is for the title track of the third and final project album. Once a rocker, always a rocker. Probably the weakest of the albums, but certainly some good tunes on it, that's for sure. And certainly some good hair on it. I'm pretty sure that I read that Joe was dating a hairdresser, and if you're going to be dating a hairdresser, that's what happens. And to be fair, I think Cowboy Mac Bell looks like he was dating a hairdresser as well. Maybe it was the same hairdresser. So yes, and Joe's Firebird 7. I used to have a 1976 Bicentenary Firebird, which was a beautiful guitar, but it's quite big. I'm quite a small guy. It was quite a big guitar. So let's bash on. Now this song's actually in drop D tune, and he has his bottom E string down to a D. I'll post a bit of a video where you can see Joe checking his tuning before the song, and he's definitely playing it in drop D.
Played it here last time.
Because the song's just a 12 bar in A, which you would normally play down there, but Joe's playing it up on the 7th fret, so he's playing the A chord on the 7th fret of the bottom string and the 7th fret of the 5th string instead of that. And to do the 12 bar, you hammer on the 9th fret and the 10th fret of the A string while keeping a hold of the 7th fret of the bottom string. So I'll play that slowly. Now, like a lot of stuff that Joe does, there's a lot that goes into the rhythm. It's quite funky. I'm hesitant to say sloppy. I don't think it's sloppy. It's just Joe's got a real cool way of playing, and it's not necessarily always on the beat. Now, after you've done one of them, you go across and you catch what will be a G chord, I guess. But it's the 7th fret of the G string and the 8th fret of the B string. So the first time it comes from the 12 bar, it goes to those two notes in the G chord. The next time you move the 8th fret of the B string down to the 7th fret and catch those two notes, which I guess is a D. So that second part goes like this. You have to excuse me, I've got a terrible cough at the moment. I had a terrible cold since I was in Poland last week. I had a very good time in Poland, but I managed to pick up the cold. Right, so those two parts together. And that's all the way through the verse. And then it goes into the chorus, which is just an A chord. He's just playing an A, and he sort of plays along with the vocal rhythm. And then he comes up and plays this double stop on the 15th fret of the B string, bending up the 17th fret of the G string. Right, so he's going for the A to those double stops. And that's the verse and the chorus. Now the only other part of the song is the underneath the solo. What you're doing is it's a D to an A to a D, like this. So you're hitting the D chord first. Because you've got a drop D, you can hit all 6 strings. And then to an A. And then the 3rd fret and 2nd fret and open on the E string. Straight back into the D chord again. And that's pretty much the whole tune. Now I did a version of the solo on the play along, which I'll put a link to down below. It's not 100% accurate, but if you watch it, it'll certainly get you in the right ballpark. Essentially, it's just it begins in a D pentatonic. Here at the 10th fret up to the 13th fret. Apologies. And he continues that down. And then a couple of double stops at the 10th and 12th frets of the B and D string. Along those lines. And then the next part, he comes down to the 9th fret of the G string and the 8th fret of the B string. And then just catches this double stop on the 9th fret of the G and 9th fret of the E. So it's like the first part goes like this. And then the second part. So it's mostly double stops again, so you get up to the 12th fret, and these notes are all played on the 3rd and 1st strings. So you get up to the double stops on the 12th and then move the G string down to the 11th and the E string down to the 10th, and then both strings on the 9th down to the 7th. So those two parts. So those two parts together. And then it's the same again to begin with. But this time it's double stops, and again it's the G string and the E string. He catches the 9th fret of both those strings and takes it down to the 7th. He slides into it. And then the solo finishes, he goes down to the 5th fret, down to the A pentatonic. And then you hear him bending single string, the G string on the way back up. But what I was doing, I was just playing doing the double stop again. So it's the 5th fret of the B string and the 7th fret of the G string. Move those up 2, up 1, up 1. And that takes you back to the chorus. So there you have it, another Joe Perry project lesson. Again, please accept my apologies as I'm trying to do this through a cold, and you perhaps can't understand my accent at the best of times, so I don't imagine this is helping any, but thank you once again for tuning in. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.